What's up everyone? So in today's video, we'll be interviewing millionaire immigrants, asking them how they became successful in entrepreneurship. Behind me we have a 2019 BMW i Roadster. This is super nostalgic because I used to have this car. And honestly, a lot of people hate this car, but I think it's one of the best daily drivers. Being able to drive top down in SoCal is just super fun and amazing. And yeah, I think this car is absolutely gorgeous. So we have a lineup of 5 amazing entrepreneurs, all of whom immigrated to the United States. They've shown us that the American dream is possible. They've built up amazing businesses, made tons of money. And yeah, we're gonna ask them a lot of insightful questions today. So yeah, you guys really don't want to miss this episode. Everyone we are talking to today is absolutely crushing it. And yeah, I'm super excited to go talk to them. Let's go. What's your name, age, and what do you do?
My name is Ben, I'm 26, and I buy video content from other people and then post it online for affiliate marketing. So basically I just have a YouTube channel of reviews where I pay other people to make the reviews for me.
In 30 seconds or less, can you tell me your immigrant story to where you are now?
I was born in Israel in 1996. I was there until I was 5 years old, and then I moved to the US. Moved schools 3 times as a kid, and then went to UCSB, started working when I was 13, and now I'm here.
As an immigrant entrepreneur, how do your parents feel about what you're doing right now?
My parents feel really great about it. I feel really proud that they feel proud, and they're pushing me on it because I think they didn't have the opportunity and they were too scared. Like, they're optimistic about some of the ideas of things that I'm doing, but they didn't have the comfort of doing it because they had to raise me and pay for me, which I'm very thankful that they took like the normal route. But now my sister and myself, they're really supportive of us doing anything.
What is a mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs these days are doing?
I think a lot of entrepreneurs spend too much time watching content and planning instead of actually doing. The biggest success that I've had in my life is from having so many failures. My friends know me as the awkward guy who will talk to people in line, and they're like, no, please don't go say hi. But being able to do that and having the awkward interactions is what gets you to be successful, I think.
Can you tell the audience a little bit more about your business?
So my business is takebensmoney.com. I launched it in June of 2022. I've been making product review videos since I was 13. So I was doing this in 2009. I was actually the youngest YouTube partner. I reviewed thousands of products. I review cars on my personal channel. And then I started paying my friends to review their stuff. And then they ran out of stuff. And so then I started to buy more videos, and I monetize them through Amazon affiliate links.
If you could go back in time to when you first got to the States, what would you tell yourself?
All the sad moments are very much worth it. I had a lot of moments where I had like no friends because I was moving schools all the time, or I didn't speak the language and I didn't understand the culture, and it was really difficult. But all those moments made me better now. So I would tell my younger self that the sadness is just like a big challenge of life, and if you can make it past that, then you can make it to anywhere and beyond, because then everything's relatively easy.
How do you balance your personal and business life?
I don't. I honestly don't balance my personal and business life. I think the work-life balance doesn't necessarily exist, especially if you're running your own company. Like, you can't leave at 6 p.m. You're in charge of everything. Everything's on you, even when you're sick. So it's hard to balance. And a lot of people don't see that.
Do you have any regrets?
No, there's not a regret that I can think of. Everything has been a lesson, at least in one way or another.
So what would you tell people that have a lot of regrets?
I think if you have a lot of regrets, you have no way to fix those. Just do the things you won't regret. Like, if you're 30 and you're gonna regret not starting the business or not applying for that job or not asking this person out or whatever it is, just do it now so you don't regret it later. You can't change 10 years ago.
What do you like to splurge your money on?
I love to splurge my money on cars, food, and experiences. If it's any of those things, I will do it. And if it's a gift or it's something that will make someone else laugh or smile, I will wholeheartedly do it.
Why cars?
Cars have brought me a lot of joy and a lot of really good connections. My YouTube channel is all about cars, so I interview people with great cars. It lets you talk to people that are in a different realm of life, and also makes it a reality.
What things do you do to make sure that you're the best version of yourself?
Actually listening to people by asking for the honest feedback.
So what would you tell people that like get butthurt from like direct answers like that?
The more that you can get punched in the face a little bit, the better you're gonna be at it. So like, go get a really stupid haircut. I went bald during COVID. I know a lot of people did that, but the comments you get, you're just like, oh man. And then anything else, like, you won't be hurt by it.
Give me a quick productivity hack.
If it can be done within 2 or 3 minutes, just do it. Don't even write it down. The second piece is write things on Post-it notes, make it a short list, less than 5 items, and then cross it out. It feels so good to cross it out. On Notion, on ClickUp, on Notes, like, checking it is one feeling. crossing out the paper just feels way better.
Do you have any final advice for immigrant entrepreneurs or just entrepreneurs in general?
Take your ideas and test them as quickly as you can. You'll lose the motivation for it almost immediately. If there's something that you think can make money or make you happy or be successful or whatever it is, just do it, because the opportunity will come and go, because there are so many situational factors in life that change. And it's unfortunate, but a lot of people don't have the opportunities because like they physically get hurt, or they have to move, or something happens in their family. So you really only get the chance right now. And you might think, I'll do this in 5 days, but in 5 days your life could be completely different, or your life could end in 5 days. So you gotta just like do it now if you can, and that's the only way you'll learn.
So what's your name, age, and what do you do?
My name is Eric. I used to do real estate full-time, 6 years, and now I'm currently doing Airbnb. I'm 29 right now.
Can you tell me your story from like immigrating here all the way to where you are now in like 30 seconds or less?
I come from Taiwan. I came to the state back in 2011. Okay. I was kind of working at a restaurant. My parents tried really hard to have me over here and pay for my tuition and everything. So, I've just been grinding and working hard and saving that money to become where I am right now.
Can you actually tell the audience a little bit more about your business, like what you do?
Yeah, so basically Airbnb, everybody pretty much know about it. Typical people think you have to buy real estate to do Airbnb. However, for my business model, it's actually more like I'll rent out the property from a landlord with their permission to sublease. I'll furnish it with my business credit card. So it's basically leveraging credit cards. And then whatever revenue I make for that month minus the expense and also the rent that I have, that's the profit I make for the property.
How many properties do you currently have?
Right now I have 22, and then I'll be having 8 more coming up end of this month.
As an immigrant entrepreneur, what do your parents think about what you're doing right now?
It's funny for my parents, they actually really support whatever I do.
Okay.
I have tried multiple different side hustles.
Yeah.
They never say anything, even if I fail, they would just kind of nod, and then every time I have new ideas, they would encourage me and tell me to keep going with it.
Okay.
And I think Airbnb is something that kind of, that stuck through, and then it's something that I'm really passionate about.
What is a mistake that a lot of beginner entrepreneurs are making these days?
I think it's mindset, and also actually being consistent, and then actually putting effort into the work that you're going to be doing.
What makes you happy in general?
Me, myself, I love making money. It's not about how much I make, it's about trying to accumulate that wealth and eventually giving back to the community, helping my friends out, teaching my friends some value of mindset, business, entrepreneurship. Like everybody around me is getting well off and getting rich. That's my passion.
If you could go back in time to when you were younger, when you first got to the States, what would you tell yourself?
I will actually still do the same thing. I will tell myself to work hard, don't waste your parents' money, and then save all that money to invest into yourself, and that's pretty much what it is. Investing into knowledge that generate income rather than investing into stocks or whatever things that you can't control. That's something I've learned over the past few years, especially last year when my crypto got hacked, 200K out of...
What?
Yeah, it just disappeared from my Coinbase wallet. Somebody sent me a link and I pressed it, and then it just transferred everything. To be honest, if people that know me, like I'm a really optimistic person.
Yeah.
I was depressed for 2 weeks,
Okay.
That was like all my money I saved up,
Yeah.
It was actually literally a day before I closed my escrow on my primary house with my girlfriend. That was my remodel money. I was super depressed. I cried so much, that was just, those time was awful. But I think for me, it actually boosts me to actually do more and then want to work harder. I was doing real estate. I'm still doing it right now. And God have a plan for me. He actually got me a lot of people that want to sell their house. It's not like I asked for it. People started reaching out to me, say, hey, I have a house to sell. I want to buy a house. So literally I make that money back within like 3 months. So like God is great, blessed to him that, I was able to get that money back. And because of that, it pushed me to working harder and then also scaling my business on Airbnb as well.
Can you give me a quick income building tip and then also an income saving tip?
Yeah, so basically I don't really save, to be honest. I actually just invest all my money back into whatever business I'm doing. For investing part, right now what I'm doing is leveraging the business credit card side or the business funding side, liquidating those money out, so we basically get the credit card points and also the introductory, promotion points. Yeah. And with that money, you could pretty much, especially right now with the rate right now, right? You could literally put in the CD that's giving you 5%. So you get 0% APR for 12 months. You could liquidate literally 200K from a business credit card. Just put that into a bank that gives you 5%.
Or treasury bills or like anything like that?
Just anything like that,
Wow.
Yeah, that's safe, in the FDIC insured. So that, how much is that, in the end of a year? And then after, the promotion rate is up, just pay it back. That's pretty much free money. That's like free hack.
Do you have any productivity hacks or tips?
A lot of people, they don't want to let go of their business. They want to take control of everything, but that's actually wrong. If you want to scale a business, you have to give out a lot of opportunity and responsibilities.
Do you have any regrets in life?
Yes, I do. I think right now, my regret is more like, I wasn't really playing and partying and then traveling while I was young. But
save
now
money.
to save money, yeah, it was all to save money. But is money really something that is really matter? I don't really think so anymore, because you can make so much, but you can only spend so much, right? Once you have that wealth, you actually spend this. That's what I realize right now.
What's a limiting belief that you think a lot of people have?
Whatever you do, be confident in what you're gonna do and be consistent on what you're gonna do. If you're gonna be decided on doing something, go for it. Don't look back, because you'll realize sometimes you're almost there, but you give up too early.
Do you have any final advice for immigrant entrepreneurs or just entrepreneurs in general?
Understanding credit, credit is really important, especially in the state. If you want to rent out a car, if you want to buy real estate, this is something you're going to have to understand and leverage, because if you don't leverage that, you're always going to be using your own money. You're not going to be able to use the bank's money or other people's money to invest. So for credit, you have to go on YouTube and then kind of just check. There's a lot of free resources out there, and then that should probably give you a good kickstart on understanding how to leverage the credit and build your credit scores.
Okay, so if you're watching this, then you obviously want to achieve your big goals. Let's talk investing, because that should absolutely be one of your big goals, to make your money work for you. It's important to understand why investing in stocks is so great. The stock market offers higher long-term returns than bonds, treasury bills, and savings accounts. And that's why almost every millionaire you talk to is exposed to the stock market. Now, to do this, I use Moomoo, an amazing stock investing platform that makes investing accessible to anyone. With their app, you can explore various sectors, see what sectors are performing best, and what the top stocks are in each sector. You can also get their free comprehensive analysis tools to make an informed decision, such as how a company performed in the past, what it's projected to do in the future, and how Wall Street analysts rate it. You can also earn passive income through dividends just for holding certain stocks. Check out their dividend list to see how much money you can make. Now, why Moomoo? Well, they're my favorite investing platform that I've heavily vetted. They're used by 19 million users worldwide, and Moomoo is a member of the SEC, FINRA, and SIPC, which protects the securities of customers up to $500,000, including $250,000 for claims for cash. Right now, you can get up to 20 free stocks, including Apple, Amazon, and Tesla, if you sign up and fund your account using the special link down below. Don't wait, because this offer is not going to last forever. And again, that link will be down below in the description. Thanks Moomoo for sponsoring this video, and now back to the video. So what's your name, age, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Jenny Wu, 41 years old, and I am the founder CEO of Mind, Brain, Emotion, and I teach emotional intelligence at the University of California, Irvine.
Can you tell me your entire life story from when you were born until where you are now?
Yeah, I was born in China, came over to the US when I was 10. Grew up in Texas during that time and came out here to Southern California for school. My first job was a personal banker, actually, at Bank of America, and that was what it taught me finances. But after that, I worked as a management consultant at Deloitte, then did the whole track, got the MBA from UC Berkeley, did the career coaching, was coaching MBA students, and then worked in Silicon Valley for a while. But then I kind of really got bored. So moved back here to Southern California, started up a school in the area, and just really got into learning about how to build emotional intelligence skills.
What do you think is a big mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs today are doing?
Chasing that sexy thing, right? The sexy thing being whatever's in the trend, whatever supposedly makes money, like, Amazon fulfillment, whatnot. And I feel like the biggest thing is you need to know what your sweet spot and what you enjoy doing first, and really go from there as your launch point instead of looking around and trying to find what other people are doing successfully.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your business and what you do?
I create meaningful card games that teach you the essential adulting skills that you don't necessarily learn in school, but are so useful in the real world.
What aspects of your culture do you think have helped you become successful?
I think the work ethic really helps, right? Being an immigrant, you have this immigrant mindset where you're like, I'm not gonna get shortcuts. It's just the way it is. So I have to work hard, grind my way through. So in that sense, I think just not being able to take things for granted really helped me.
What makes you happy?
Just experimenting with different ideas. I love tinkering, kind of get in my cave, have an idea, and try to figure out how it works. You don't know all the answers, but I think it's the process of just trying to figure it out makes me really happy.
What would you tell people that they want to tinker, but they're afraid of failing and wasting their time?
Don't be afraid. Mistakes are normal. Mistakes are common. And mistakes are actually signposts telling you if you're on track or not. You're not going to get anywhere without failing, making mistakes.
What is a popular piece of advice that you actually disagree with?
All or nothing, right? You need to give it all. I think there is such a hustle culture that it makes you feel like you gotta work so hard in order to get what you can get, right? But my thing is you gotta work smart, and you cannot say yes to all the things in the world. Know your worth, ask for your worth, and know what you're interested in and focus on those sweet spots.
Do you have any advice for people that want to get into public speaking?
Definitely get comfortable with being uncomfortable. What this means is that you want to get yourself out there in front of people who you don't know, who don't speak your language, and just be yourself and try to soak in everything that they do, their nonverbals, how they present themselves.
So a lot of the audience is super young. They're in college or school, and they might be wanting to start their own business, but they don't know how to. So like, what would you tell them?
I started my business when I was a student in school, and I would say that's one of the best spots where you can tap into all these university resources, right? All the mentorship, the professors you have, and get your ideas off the ground. And so I would highly recommend looking around at, the different clubs, innovation clubs, startup resources there are, and tap into those.
How do you balance your personal and business life?
There is not quite of a balance. And so I would say it's more of blending it together. Okay. And in my case, because I have kids, that makes it really difficult. So I've basically managed to turn my personal life into my business.
What do you like to splurge your money on?
I love splurging money on travel experiences. As an entrepreneur, yes, you are grinding away, hustling, but I am in sort of the world of passive income generation and really living good experiences, taking in all that the world has to offer.
What things do you do every day to make sure that you're the best version of yourself?
I love working out and getting enough sleep. So what I do every day is I try to get at least 7 hours of sleep, and that includes really 8 hours in bed, because the time you fall asleep is, and waking up is different. Right. And I was a certified fitness trainer, so I'm all about the mind-body connection. And so having that dose of dopamine and just feeling my body, getting worked is what makes me happy.
Do you have any final advice you want to tell immigrant entrepreneurs or just entrepreneurs in general?
Yeah, I would say have a sense of humor. As an entrepreneur, and especially as an immigrant entrepreneur, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes and a lot of social blunders, right? Just laugh about it, learn, pick yourself up, and keep on going. And then also, a lot of immigrant entrepreneurs tend to appear as overly rigid and kind of socially awkward, and in some ways, because you have your eyes on the prize so much, you tend to be misunderstood as desperate. So that sense of humor and being able to just work on your soft skills, your communications, will help you to loosen up and really to connect with people better.
All right, so what's your name, age, and what do you do for a living?
My name is Jezreel. I am 29 now. I'm a barber, entrepreneur, sell clothes, and I'm trying to get into the Frenchie game.
Can you tell us your entire life story in like 30 seconds or something?
I was born in the Philippines. My parents migrated to Saudi Arabia. They did x-ray over there, and then we moved over here due to the war that happened in 2001. As an immigrant, it was pretty tough to get a job. Found out that I didn't have a social security in 2012. I had to kind of do all these like dirty jobs. It finally got me to, barbering. It was pretty low key, and I get paid under the table. After I got my green card and my certification to be here, decided to take it full on and open up my own shop.
As an immigrant entrepreneur, what do your parents think about what you do?
They wasn't accepting of it in the beginning because, as a Filipino, they want you to be a nurse or somewhere in the medical field. Okay. And it was definitely a struggle, but now they're just pretty accepting of it. Yeah. They're pretty proud of like everything because they got to see also that, it's not all about the 9 to 5.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your business, like what you guys do or like where are you guys and stuff like that?
We're in Long Beach and Bixby Knolls. It's a private studio. There's 5 of us in there. I built a team with my partner Pete, and we have 4 other guys that work with us, very great guys. We mainly focus on the business aspect of barbering, which is, the marketing, the advertising, all of those type of things. Yeah. Those are the most important part of the craft.
What do you think is a mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs these days are making?
Trying to get that fast money. you know? So it's all about the slow game, the longevity. Like Nipsey said, it's about the marathon. And so when you're trying to go for that fast money, it's pretty tough, you know? You don't establish your business, a little bit of quick money here, quick money there, but at the end of the day, you have to kind of go for the money that keeps coming in, the passive income.
What aspects of your culture do you think helped you become successful?
Being a Filipino, I was very family oriented. I grew up in a church environment, so I feel like I kind of brought that into my business, and that's part of like who I am, and you know, that's something that I'm able to bring into my business. And I just feel like more as a barber, you know, it's like the service is also a big part of the game. You're cutting gray hair, the service is also part of it. You talk to your clients, you know, you make them feel welcome and everything. So I think that kind of took me to, you know, skyrocketed my game.
What makes you happy?
Being able to provide for my family. They're in the Philippines right now.
Okay.
I'm not making a ton of money, but I'm glad to be making enough money for me to send my parents retirement money or help them with whatever they can.
If you could go back in time to when you first came to the States, what would you tell yourself?
Not everybody is against you. I just feel like it was so hard for me to fit in that I made like bigger problems for myself, thinking that, you know, nobody liked me. You know, I just had to try extra hard to belong somewhere. But honestly, like, people will just gravitate towards you regardless of who you are, you know?
What's a popular piece of advice that you actually disagree with?
Money will solve all your problems. I grew up in a third world country. Everybody there is just happier, even if they don't have a lot of money. I feel like people are a lot happier when they're able to acquire something that doesn't involve money too, you know? Simple things like being at the beach or, you know, just enjoying like a cold drink or like a warm shower, that could go a long way.
How do you balance your personal and your business life?
When I walk into my space at home, that's like my safe zone, and I can like decompress. And also being able to just have a lot of friends, be with my girlfriend is a big thing. So that I consider that like my personal life, you know, making time for them pretty much.
What's something that you like to splurge your money on?
The clothes.
Clothes? Okay.
Yeah, I love clothes, man.
What things do you do to make sure that you're the best version of yourself?
Affirmations. Nobody's gonna support you like how you support yourself.
Do you have any final advice for immigrant entrepreneurs or just entrepreneurs in general?
Just don't give up. You're gonna feel like everybody is against you, but at the end of the day, you just gotta stay in your own lane. You gotta keep it pushing every day, and you gotta stop trying to fit in. Once you start doing that and you start figuring yourself out in another country especially, like that's where you'll find your niche. Because bringing in your culture into a place where it's so diverse will actually make you stand out. And in America, I figured out that standing out is better than like fitting in, you know?
What's your name, age, and what do you do for a living?
So my name is Sam Carmiel, and I just turned 44 years old. What I do is I make people's dreams. I'm basically making pieces of jewelry for any event for private clients.
Can you tell us your entire like immigrant story from start to finish in like 30 seconds?
So I was born and raised in Israel, and I was raised there in a village on a farm, growing up with my brother and sister and my parents. And I did what every Israeli is doing, which is the age of 18 years old, drafted to the army. I served 4 years in the military, and after 4 years decided to come to the States just to travel. Ended after a little bit, and then someone offered me to work in the diamond business, which I knew nothing about because I know how to milk cows and other things related to farming. And I said, you know what, let's give it a try. And 21 years later, I'm still here.
As an immigrant entrepreneur, what do your parents think of what you do?
So my parents are super proud of me. I think that for them, it's less about the monetary value. It's less about like, you know, how much money I have or how much money I made. Although of course, you know, they couldn't provide me the life that I have right now. Not that they're poor, but they're not like, you know, rich by any means. So for them to see me succeeding in a trade that I'm entirely obsessed with, along with enjoying my life here and travel the world, etc., and dealing with people that I would never be able to deal with otherwise, is something that makes them super, super happy and proud.
When you were just starting out, were they like, what are you doing? Or like, were they worried about you?
They were very worried about me, and I'll tell you a quick story about that. After 2.5 weeks traveling the States, the person that connected me to the diamond business said, hey, I know someone that needs someone to help him with the diamond trade, and do you mind staying for an extra month? And I said, sure. But, you know, as a courtesy also, I was only 22 years old. I said, I'm gonna tell my parents. And when I called my mom, she answered the phone. And I told her about that. And she's like, oh my God, I'm putting your dad on the line. I said, why? And she's like, I think this is like not gonna be good for you. And I said, why not? She's like, you know how to milk cows. Now someone is offering you to deal with diamonds. I think it's a scam. I think it's gonna ask you to deliver drugs and you're gonna be in federal prison. And me and dad will need to come and visit you, you know, every few months. So I don't want you to do that. You have to come back to Israel. And I said, Mom, don't worry. It's like the real thing. So they were very scared in the beginning. And after a year, I think, I had enough money to bring them over to visit. And they actually saw me like working in the office, dealing with diamonds. They still until today don't really understand what I do for a living because for them, diamond is so far away from their actual life. And every time my mom is or dad is visiting from abroad, I put like, you know, 10 or 20 carat worth like $500,000 to $1 million in their hand. And I tell them, how much you think it's worth? And they're like, I don't know, 2 grand, 3 grand. I said, no, think big. And they're like, oh my God, is that a 20 grand? I said, no, it's a $500,000 stone. They're like, oh my God, take it off of my palm, the palm of my hand.
So what aspects of your culture have helped make you successful?
I think that it's a culture thing, but it's also because I've been to the army. Every guy has to go for a minimum of 3 years, and every girl has to go for a minimum of 2 years. And I feel like the army gives you a lot of things, a lot of tools. One of them is structure. The other one is discipline. The third one is, doesn't matter what the situation is, you have to succeed. You're gonna have a bad day, a second bad day, a week, a month, a year, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're gonna make it.
What makes you happy?
Believe it or not, my business has given me a lot of happiness. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to be so obsessed with what you do for a living, but I am. If I know that a 7 carat is being shipped to me from New York or from Israel, from Belgium or any other place around the world, I'll do all the stuff that I need to do in the morning as quickly as possible just to go and see that 7 carat.
Okay, so if you could go back in time to when you first got here, what would you tell yourself?
Chill out, hold your horses, just wait. Because in the beginning, I remember the first 2 years, I was just eyeing all of this and I'm like, I want it. I was so frustrated that I cannot make the millions of dollars. It takes time, and it took time. It took me 21 years to get to the point where I'm at today.
What's a popular piece of advice that you actually disagree with?
Some advice is working great for some people, and some other doesn't work for some other people. So it's like, it can be one way, right? There's some people that are working half of how much me and you are working, and are more successful than both of us combined. And it's good for them, you know?
How do you balance your personal and business life?
I think they're very much mixed together. I travel a lot. It's just a mishmash of both of them, which is fine. Like, you know, my regular routine that, you know, I feel sanity in is, you know, running and working out in the morning.
What do you like to splurge your money on?
On good food, on travel. Those are the main things. And it's part of work, but I like to spend my money on flying very comfortably.
Give me a quick income building tip and then also an income saving tip.
When you're getting older, and if you want to have a family later on or not, you know, it's up to you, but life are getting more and more expensive. Wife, kids, those cost a lot of money. School costs a lot of money. And the house that you bought now for $2 million gonna cost $10 million. So saving is a key point. But also I feel like important part of the first question is something that I was lacking on. I said, I can do everything by myself. And it's a fault that a lot of entrepreneurs doing it in the beginning because you feel that you are the only one that know how to do things. And also you don't want to pay someone money because that's a lot of your income in the beginning, right? But that's kind of a mistake, and I wish I took the people that work for me today a little bit earlier in life, just because you have to get off this thought that those people cost you money. You have to think of them as they're gonna make me more money. I'm gonna have more free time. And you cannot think clearly when you're worried about, oh, I need to take the trash out. What about the lease payment? What about the car that I rented for? Shooting a video with some random people and those kind of stuff. You have to have other people to help you doing those things.
What things do you do to make sure that you're the best version of yourself?
For me personally is learning from other people in the trade. Though I'm 21 years in the trade and I think I know it all, or I know very well, still I want to learn from those people because you can always learn.
How do you stay productive?
I think a big part of it is sports. If you work out, it's gonna clear your mind, and you know you're gonna be a better version of yourself. It's true.
Super true, yeah.
And it's important.
Is there any final advice you want to leave to immigrant entrepreneurs or even just entrepreneurs in general?
You know, I heard that when I was younger, before I even drafted to the army. Follow your heart, you know, do what you love. And then I think I read somewhere that 90% of the people in the world, 90, and if they're wrong, it's 80, and if they're wrong, it's 60. But doesn't matter, it's a huge amount of people in the world, right, that are waking up every morning and going to do something that they hate, and coming back home at 5, 6, 7 p.m. and another day. And I told myself, I need to find something that's gonna make me super happy. So you have to try and do a bunch of stuff before you find your destination of what you wanna do in life.
So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys got a lot of inspiration from our guests. And yeah, personally, I learned so much. It was super inspiring to hear everyone's story. It's definitely not easy building a business, especially if you're not born here, but these people have shown that it is entirely possible. Now, I make these videos because I really want to encourage entrepreneurship. I know there are a lot of you guys out there that want to get into business, but maybe don't have the resources or the right inspiration. And so yeah, I really hope this video gave you some confidence and allows you to go out there and chase your dreams. If you guys want some free stocks, we'll be leaving links to Webull and Moomoo down below, as well as my newsletter Hustle Club, which teaches you how to become a better entrepreneur in 3 minutes or less per week. That's it for today's episode, and if you guys enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe for more content just like this. We do a ton of videos about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and investing. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.